Welcome to the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, the 60th anniversary.
This is the brand new world debut of the Morgan Ever GT. For us, it's a great experience to come out to the States and a fantastic platform to launch a brand new car and to show something that's actually bringing Morgan into the 21st century with a completely new design and design philosophy.
Infiniti has been coming here now for several years, and they always top themselves every single year. We did a ride and drive, and the public absolutely loves it. It gives them a chance to have a VIP sneak peek and test drive an Infiniti vehicle and experience the power, the performance, the luxury that Infiniti is known for.
Welcome to the Mecum auction in Monterey. It's almost like a sport, if you will. Adults trading toys at the same time. Matchbox cars of when you were a kid, and this is the similar experience for adults to continue trading.
The black car is a 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. It's a Yanko clone. Yanko was a dealer that would take Camaros and just hot rodded them up. They put 427 engines in them and just gave it a lot of horsepower, and they were a car of the day.
The car is a 1954 Jaguar. It's a 120 model. It's a timeless design, like the Parthenon in Greece. You can't improve on it. It's as good as it gets right now.
Welcome here to the Concours d'Elegance at Pebble Beach, and this is the brand new world debut of the Morgan Ever GT. My name is Matthew Humphries. I'm Chief Designer at Morgan Motor Cars, and this is the new Ever GT. For us, it's a great experience to come out to the States and a fantastic platform to launch a brand new car and to show something that's actually bringing Morgan into the 21st century with a completely new design and design philosophy. Pebble Beach is great because you have a mixture of vintage, classics, cars, bikes. Every type of automobilia really is here. It's a fantastic platform to show off a traditional British sports car company to show a new car because of all those different elements that are here. For me, it's a fantastic experience to be here, showing off my new baby as such, and to get some feedback from customers and from real car people. It's great to have someone who's got one of the fantastic cars on the lawn out there come up to me and say, "Matt, I like your new car." So it's a great experience. And to be here with a new car is just fabulous. The point of this car is that we are trying to capture what we call automotive theatre. If you can imagine, one of the cars out the back, see if you've got a Talbot Lago or Bugatti. Imagine seeing one of those cruise down Hollywood Boulevard or across Italy somewhere in the 30s or 40s. You would have just been shocked. You would have been, wow, what is that car about? This car is meant to capture that same emotion, that same feeling. And we do that by exposing the traditional Morgan wing line. You've got little creases and pieces that just link back to those true coach-built cars. And it's exactly what this will be. We'll have a bonded aluminum chassis, a BMW straight-six engine with twin turbos, weigh 2,700 pounds. Then on top of that, there'll be laminated wooden framework, aluminum panels, which are then hand-beaten around that wooden frame. So it's a true 21st century coach-built Morgan. To be honest with you, the process for this car has been rather fast. Morgan's got a very small team. It's fantastic that I can sketch a car out, go directly to Charles Morgan, third generation of the Morgan family, and go, what do you think of that? Is that the car that we want to build? So this car has taken about 6 months from the first sketch to the thing that you see here today. I've been with the company about 5 years now. We've been developing lots of new products, and for me this has been something that's been in my head for a while, so it's great to finally get it out on the lawn and show it off.
I'm Natalie Slipko, and I'm an Infiniti product specialist. Infiniti has been coming here now for several years, and they always top themselves every single year because, of course, Infiniti's about inspired performance and, of course, craftsmanship, and we are the luxury end of Nissan. It's always exciting for me to be back here at the Concours just to see, okay, what is Infiniti going to do this year? And certainly they've topped themselves this year as well. And then to my left, we have a tent here every single year, and this year it's called Infiniti's Moments of Inspiration. We're also excited to bring to the public the 2011 M series, the M56 and the M37, which is our mid-size luxury sedan, as well as the 2011 QX56. And both the QX56 and the M got brand new exterior designs, brand new interior, a lot more technology has been added, and of course, performance, which Infiniti is known for. The QX is phenomenal. I mean, if you just look at the design of it, it's much more curvaceous, sculpted. The interior is no exception. It got more horsepower this year, 400 horsepower with a 5.6-liter V8 engine. And some of the wonderful features now standard is the around view monitor, which
Welcome to the Mecum auction in Monterey. My name is Sam Murtaugh. I'm marketing manager for Mecum Auctions. We're in our second year here in Monterey, off doubling our cars from 200 last year to 400 cars this year. We've got everything from muscle cars, Ferraris, European exotics, antiques, classics, a little bit of everything, something for everyone here on the peninsula. We're Monterey's daytime auction, separating ourselves from all the other auctions on the peninsula this year. Happy to be here, having a great event so far. Taken all of our stumbles of last year, fine-tuned them this year, and increased our cars by 100%. Everyone had an enjoyable experience last year, and it's shown that we put a stamp in the peninsula here, and Mecum's established itself and become one of the premier events here on the peninsula. The feature car of our event is the 1959 Ferrari 250 TDF. First in its class at Le Mans in 1959, third overall. We've got the very first 1967 Corvette LE8 convertible ever produced. We've got a factory-built stainless steel 1936 two-door sedan, one of 6 built in 1936 as a promotional car. We've got an Aston Martin owned by Bing Crosby. It had to be you. Some amazing cars here this year. We chose Monterey, obviously, with Auto Week. Everything automotive is happening this week on the peninsula. We felt that it was good to become part of it. We've had all our events in the Midwest. We've got the largest auction in Indianapolis every year in May. So we wanted to make sure we brought the Mecum experience out to the West Coast for this market to enjoy our auctions as well. The day after last year's auction, we had people calling and wanting to register their cars for this year. So I mean, everyone had a great time. This is the first year we brought our TV program, Muscle Cars and More. I started detailing cars when I was 15 years old, wiping down cars at a car wash for tips, and it just has kind of evolved from there, grew into being heavy in the detailing world, and started detailing cars at auctions, and I've evolved into classics. I met Dana Mecum years ago at an auction. We just kind of evolved there, established a relationship, and started working for him, and it's just gone from there. Through evolution, I've come to the collector car world. It's almost like a sport, if you will. Adults trading toys at the same time. It's matchbox cars of when you were a kid, and this is somewhat of a similar experience for adults to continue trading, whether it's people that have been wanting a car when they were a kid and they can now finally afford to have that car, the rare vehicles that have always been sought after come to auction. Auctions have become a way for everyone to come together. They're social events as much as they are business events, and everyone just comes to have a good time. One thing we have here at our event in Monterey is we're a completely free event. We're open to the general public. We encourage the general public to come and check out the cars on the lawn and just enjoy the experience and give everyone the opportunity to come enjoy these cars.
My name is William Bates. I live in Virginia. Made the trek out here to Monterey on my motorcycle to come out to the mecca of the car world, take in the sights and the people, and sell a couple of cars, enjoy. It's the first time I've been to Monterey in 29 years. I'm a pretty regular attendee of the Mecum sales. I'm good business to with. I act as a buyer's agent for a number of people across the country, gentlemen that collect these cars. I've been in the car business practically my entire life as a wholesale dealer, and when I got burned out on that, I've always been involved in the collector cars, so it was a natural move for me to start dealing with those products. black car is a 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. It's a Yanko clone. Yanko was a dealer in Pennsylvania that would take Camaros and just hot rodded them up. They put 427 engines in them with aluminum heads, and it just gave it a lot of horsepower, and they were a car of the day. In the market today, a Yanko Camaro, they were doing upwards of $300,000 when the market was in the high. This car, over $100,000 was spent in it, and 40-something thousand in the engine. You can buy the car in the $50,000 to $60,000 range and have a driver, which you wouldn't have with a real one. The majority of the people would appreciate that a little bit more, something that you can drive as opposed to something you have to see in the garage that you don't ever get to go in. The Ferrari is a 1995 355 Berlinetto, which is the coupe. The fly yellow, one of the most crowd-attracting colors anyway. It was a good car for Ferrari. It came from the 348. A lot of guys said it was the best sounding V8 of the time. 360 plus horsepower. That particular car only has just under 7,000 miles on it. The allure of the Ferrari is always there, and it's an affordable Ferrari that you could get into that's a fun driver. It was a come-about car from the 348 where they went to a little bit larger engine. The Ferrari market, like everything, has suffered a little bit, but this car hits a good price range. And here I am in Monterey, the holy grail of the car world. It's just so neat to see so many neat cars and beautiful cars and the people that get together, and everybody's friendly. And you can go to the racetracks. You weren't around in 1960, you can go to Laguna Seca, and you can watch literally the same cars that raced there then racing there now.
Closed captioning provided by
My name is Al Zemke, and we're at Monterey, California at the famous Mecum auctions. Here to sell cars and to buy them for some people. Glad to be here. The car is a 1954 Jaguar. It's a 120 model, and the 120 got its designation because when they introduced this design in 1948, they promptly went to a road in Belgium and they set a world speed record at 120 miles an hour. So henceforth, the 120 Jaguar. This car has the same configuration primarily as the record-setting car because it has the fender skirts on it, or what the English call spats. So the car has spats. The car set the world record with spats on it. They did remove the windshield that had a smaller windshield, what they call the Brooklyn's windscreen. But other than that, it did have a tonneau cover, as this one does, so we have a very similar car. I would make a note of the fact that there are certain cars that attract people, and every car has a certain color that the car wears very well. This car does wear green quite well, and of course there is the legend of British racing green, and the truth be known, there is no British racing green. There is simply green cars from Britain that race, and that was because in the 1950s, England was assigned the color green on international racing. Ferrari was assigned red. Belgium, I believe, was yellow. America got blue with white stripes, henceforth the Shelby Cobras, and on and on. So that's how that works. But this car, because of its swooping lines, which was a transition point from the 1930s cars, all that gorgeous automotive art, a transition into the more contemporary era, where you still had the Buicks and the Mercurys with fenders and so on, Cadillacs, but still they weren't the old cars, and the market liked the old design. It's a timeless design, like the Parthenon in Greece. You can't improve on it. It's as good as it gets right now. It stood the test of time, and people recognize that. Even if they don't know the car, they love it. The Jaguar XK120 was introduced by Sir William Lyons in 1948. It was a totally new design. It was actually to be a prototype and maybe not even put into production. But at the end of the day, when they saw the reaction it had at the auto shows, they decided to rush it into production, and they did. And he sold every car he could make. He couldn't make them fast enough for 3 years. The car became a 120 because it went 120 miles an hour. In 1948, you couldn't get a Pontiac or a Cadillac or a Lincoln to go that fast. So they set a speed record in Belgium with it. Henceforth, it became the XK120 automobile. The speed record was set with these beautiful fender skirts on, which is what the English call spats. It was raced like this as well. At the end of the day, if they were on road tracks and racing, they removed the spats because they had a bad habit of popping off during a race. You would see old pictures with it both ways, spats on and spats off, but these are the same type of spat exactly was set in the record-holding car. The interesting thing to note, though, is that in the late 1940s, when Sir William Lyons, the owner of Jaguar, was beginning the production on this car, he actually told his engineering staff when they were designing the engine that he wanted an engine, A, that could be displacement, more cubic inches, more horsepower, on and on and on, but, and here's the interesting part, it had to be beautiful. Now remember, we're dealing with the English aristocracy here. They do things a certain way, and it has to be tasteful. Actually, the engine ended up being beyond tasteful. It's a very lovely and gorgeous presentation. It's a dual overhead cam engine. It came from the factory with 2 carburetors. This one has 3. In a later iteration of this model, they did introduce 3 carburetors. But notice how graceful the design of the engine is. Little chrome nuts everywhere. Even the wires are nicely organized, and on and on and on. So Sir William Lyons got what he asked for, a beautiful engine that would run for a very long time in race conditions, and also when it could be improved on.
Closed captioning provided by